Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Really appreciate you taking time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Now, we talked about a handful of X-Men games, but not all of the X-Men games that I want to talk about. So I got one more for you. I promise you this is the last one. This is Clone Wars. Now you have to understand why Clone Wars was such a amazing game. Now, after the first one for Genesis, which wasn't bad, but there was clearly things that they could improve on, right? This game is just like all of the improvements in that same area. Now, it's not quite Mutant Apocalypse, which I consider to still be the best of that 16-bit era, but this one was definitely improvement over the original one. The only thing is that the game is kind of hard, so it is very tough to dive back into. But there were some really cool things that it did. First and foremost, the game just starts. So that was one of the weirdest but also kind of awesome things is when you cut the game on, it says Sega, and then they drop you into the first level with a random X-Men, which is kind of cool. But also sometimes I get characters that I don't really want to play. Like the only person I feel like who got a downgrade going from the first one to this one is probably Nightcrawler, just because, you know, he's like as athletic as Beast, but he doesn't hit as hard, and his power doesn't let him actually go through walls the same. There's some walls you can, but for the most part you can't. And in the original game, you pretty much can go anywhere with that power. So it was kind of like, it's kind of whack. But otherwise, I mean, the characters that they decided to add, I think was all good choices. Like putting Beast in, and then also Psylocke was really cool. And I just wish there was like Storm and a few other ones. But as always, we never get all of the X-Men in one game because that would be too much like right. You know, we had to wait from X-Men Legends to get that. But I think this game was really cool. Something else it did that neither the original one or the Mutant Apocalypse did was you can play as Magneto in this one. And that may not seem like a big deal to you all, but it really was. Also, Magneto can fly. But side note, I was not able to make it to Magneto, so I can't show you Magneto gameplay. But this game is really good. The other thing it does that I really liked is if you keep getting health power-ups and you go like overheal yourself, your powers get stronger. And I thought that was really cool. Like Cyclops' beam is now wider. Psylocke's side blade will reach out further. And then a lot of the levels and bosses that you go against in this game I thought were really good, and they were much different as opposed to the first X-Men game on Genesis, where it was like the bosses were essentially just the same type of fight. You just hit them, run. These, you're kind of fighting enemies based on what they were doing in the comics and TV show a little bit more. So for example, the first real level, you have to go through this Sentinel factory and you get the master mode, and then you have to escape while it's blowing up and things like that. And that was just certain stuff that you really didn't see in the first game. So the variety of gameplay is much more diverse, and I thought that was really cool. The other reason I included this game was I remember my friend Marquise having a EGM, that's a magazine that went out way long ago, but it had like a walkthrough for Clone Wars. And I remember him showing me the book, and I'm looking at the magazine, and I'm like, yo, I really want to play this game. And he's like, well, I got Clone Wars. I'm like, nah, no, you don't. I've never seen that game in a while. He's like, no, I got it. And it turns out he did. And one of the many reasons we became friends is because he always had like whatever the new game was, and, you know, come kick it with him and play it. So that was always the fun thing is the fact that it was like having, you know, a chance to play this really cool X-Men game that like I had only seen in multiple magazines and never got a chance to actually play. So Clone Wars kind of has like, you know, another little extra special place in my heart because, you know, it was one of those games that I would see for so long before getting a chance to play it, and then finally playing it and being like, yeah, it's really good. But anyway, as always, if you've played this game, I'd love to hear from you. You know, favorite X-Men in this particular entry. I am a big Cyclops and Gambit fan. Also, Psylocke was really cool. And then Beast, if things just go bad and I just need to get through something, because he's just really good and he can move like way better than everybody else. So yeah, but technically there's no bad character in this game. So love to hear from you as well. As always, I appreciate you letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.